Another call, another case, and another client living in fear.
I have cleaners that used to go in and do the cleaning upstairs, but she refuses to clean upstairs now.
Okay.
People that have stayed in that room, it's uneasy.
Providing the evidence, he's getting communication with spirits.
And to be honest, I will not set foot in that house in the day on my own.
Tonight, a 240-mile drive to Devonshire took me to a remote farmhouse. Reports of phenomena taking place, not just from the owners, but also from paying guests. I never know what I'm going to encounter each time I take a case, but me and the client have spoken in great depth prior to me accepting this one. They say the truth is out there. I'm no longer searching for the truth. I found the truth many, many years ago and have since built unique relationships with those who reside in another domain.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I just went down and got my pad. We're up there with Robert. If you would just want to drive up
Okay.
and just round the back of the house, Robert's car's there.
Brilliant. Good evening.
5 hours and 40 minutes later, we'd finally arrived.
Say hello.
After introductions and a well-received coffee, it was time to take a look around. This is Don Phillips, tonight we called to this farmhouse in Devonshire. There's been lots of reports of paranormal activity, both from the people that own this location and also paying guests, people that stay here with their families. I've got Ian Gunner with me, who's with me for the first time. He's seen my work before and he wanted to, well, see it for himself. And also I've got Robert Snow. He used to be the secretary of the Ghost Club. I've met Robert for the first time. Very, very nice gentleman. Between us, we're going to see if we can unravel some mysteries of this place and see if we can get some answers from my client. So we will begin the investigation very, very shortly. There's an awful lot to get through, so we'll be back in a few moments. The farmhouse was very atmospheric, but there was just one question beckoning. Was this farmhouse really haunted? George, I've been hearing lots and lots of reports, and also you've heard reports from guests about the paranormal activity said to be taking place in this location. Have you experienced anything yourself in the time that you've been here? Have you seen anything? Have you heard anything, or is it mostly just reports from the people that you're aware of?
I haven't seen or heard anything in particular. It's more of what I feel in the
Oh, you're quite sensitive.
building. Rather than anything visual, I sense.
You sense things.
So I feel changes in the rooms and around the house.
Is there any particular part of the house that you seem to be more sensitive to than any others?
In the older part of the house.
How long's this been here?
This particular building dates back to probably 12th century.
The 12th century. Awful lot of history, isn't there?
Definitely.
Now, one of the reasons I was called in is because you're actually concerned that your guests are actually been reporting things, aren't they? People who are actually staying here, booking the place, renting rooms, they're actually reporting strange things that are said to have occurred. Such as, can you give me an example?
Certain guests have been downstairs and they've heard children running and playing and jumping on the beds upstairs. Yeah, children.
And jumping on the beds?
A number of children, not just one, so several children playing.
But there is quite a history with the children that was here many generations ago. You was actually telling me earlier. What happened to them?
As I understand, it was a large family. They had several children. So what we can understand is probably going back several hundred years, maybe. The children all perished with smallpox. So obviously that must have been devastating for the family at the time. No, but
and quite probably left some kind of footprint. I mean,
yeah.
there's an awful lot of paranormal activity reports associated with the place, you know, and it's all these sort of things that seem to accumulate. I mean, time period, we're looking somewhere around in the region of about 800 years in total, wasn't we?
Yes.
So we've got a lot to find out. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Okay, so just heard from George. Also, I believe Marie has some experiences that she'd like to share with us. Hi, Marie.
Hi.
Okay, I've just spoken to George. He's told me about some things that's been reported. I understand that you've got your own experiences, which differ slightly to George's. Can you tell us something about that?
Quite a lot.
Okay.
Well, I've seen black shadows,
Black shadows.
and not with my eyes looking forward, but in the background.
Peripheral vision kind
Yeah.
of thing. Okay.
When I've been hoovering and cleaning, the vacuum works in one room, and when I move it out into the hallway, when I move it out into the hallway it works, and then when I move it into a particular room it stops.
How is that every time?
Yeah, I don't go up there and do that anymore.
Okay, I think for tonight's purposes, if you could demonstrate that might be quite interesting. I know you are very, very nervous, but...
I won't go upstairs. I don't do upstairs anymore. I used to have a cleaner that used to go upstairs, and she doesn't go upstairs anymore.
Okay, well you called me in for a reason, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You trust me, don't you? So you know what's coming next, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And moving on slightly. Okay, apart from that, what else have you experienced? Have you seen anything else, or had any voices, or anything?
I've never heard any voices. There's been a sense of being watched. And you have to look over your shoulder.
Is that in any particular part of the house?
This
Or-
older part of the house.
And just in the older part of the house?
Yeah.
Mainly, okay. The first thing that springs to mind there, you said it's the older part of the house, is the wiring up to date? Because quite often old parts of houses have pretty poor unshielded wiring.
Yeah.
That can cause that kind of feeling, depending on people's different sensitivities.
It can do that, but
Okay.
because we decided to holiday let, there's loads of rules and regulations with regards to wiring and health and safety.
Okay.
So we had to get electrical contractors in to do
So it's all been
proper
checked.
safety checks.
Okay. Well, that kind of eliminates that. But obviously, it's something we need to ask.
Yeah.
We need to ask. Okay. What else?
The list is endless.
Let's try one more.
Guests have experienced quite a lot of things. They've been quite rude with me sometimes because I didn't tell them, and some guests have left early.
Really?
Yes.
So you said that the guests have been reporting a whole different array of things.
Yes. Lots of people leave early.
Yeah.
Some don't say why, but some do.
Okay.
And one particular set of guests, the whole family left and the father was left here on his own, and then he pointed out to me that there was quite a lot of activity upstairs with bouncing on beds by children.
The feeling like children are bouncing on beds.
He heard them.
He heard them.
He heard them. And that's why he felt the need to stay on his own and tell me. There's also been other things that have happened. I've had people that have been here that have complained to me and accused me of coming in and moving all their clothes, all into a big pile on the stairs upstairs, and I said that we're not allowed to do that when you're here, obviously.
So we're talking about guests with no prior knowledge or any suggestion that there may be paranormal activity taking place?
No, they didn't know.
No suggestion whatsoever?
No.
They just came down, some of them, and actually just complained that there was unexplained things that had been occurring?
We've had quite a few complaints, yes.
Okay. Now, on a more serious note, I think it's important for people to realise that this kind of phenomena has a very deep effect on people that are experiencing it, such as yourself. Anxieties and such things like that. You know, how has it affected you? What's been going on? What's been reported?
Well, I felt really stressed about it all, to be honest. I'm just trying to keep the place going. It's not nice when you hear from guests. No one asked it to my brother, saying you could have told me about the woman.
No, that's the guess, but what I'm talking about is you particularly. What effects and how does this make you feel on a personal level?
This side of the house shitty. I feel really sick.
Okay.
I feel sick and dizzy when I particularly go into that place. I feel like I'm always drunk in the day, and I'm not. And I feel hot, and my head's spinning, and
I think it's fair to say that the reason you've asked me to call out this evening is Marie, because you've had enough, haven't you?
I have, but there's a room upstairs which the cleaners used to go to, but they won't anymore. No one will do that. My brother does that now.
What I find very interesting is there's multiple witness accounts, people
Yeah.
that are unrelated, people that have had no prior knowledge of the history
Yeah.
of the location. That's what I find very, very interesting. I will say already, earlier, I chose my room, switched the light on. I was talking to Gunnar, we went along the landing, came back, and the light was physically switched off. Now, there's nobody else up there. There would have passed us on the stairs. So we found that quite intriguing. This is not just a light going off, this was a switch physically moving. We didn't hear the switch. It's a very clicky switch and we didn't hear anything. So, Marie, for now, I want to thank you for your time. We've got an awful lot to cover. Let's see how we get on.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
Upstairs I haven't seen so much. It's just more like moving around and like light switches turning on and off.
It's interesting you said that because obviously we arrived yesterday and the room I'm staying is purportedly one of the really active ones, apart from it's the nicest one, which is the reason I've got it in, sitting over there going like this. The switch on the door, the light switch, I switched it on, took my stuff into the room, we came out, went down the lane, turned around, the light was switched off. Last night, I was getting ready to go to bed and there was a big bang and looked behind me, it had gone onto the wall.
There was one time I was sat in my car just outside here.
Yeah.
It was a really rainy day. It was night time and I was waiting for my partner to come up the house and
Okay.
the door was open, so because it was dark I could see inside the house and I didn't actually see him come out of the house. I didn't
Right.
know it was him. I was like sort of just sat waiting in the car and I heard somebody on the gravel and I actually seen someone walk past me and it was so clear that I could actually see the colour of their skin.
You're talking about a non-physical person now, aren't you?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I don't know if they were there or not. Well, I seen this person,
Yeah.
or what I believe to be a figure,
Right.
and then I got out the car, and then Will come out the door because I was saying, you know, I thought we were going out. Why are you walking off? And he wasn't there, and then Will come running out.
And he's like, what are you talking about? Sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So that, again, that's another interesting account. A very
Yeah.
interesting account. Okay, we're going to get started now. Time is getting on. We've got an awful lot to cover tonight. We also want to try and concentrate on the outside a little because we've not actually done that due to the weather conditions. And as I mentioned before, there is this pit, this thing.
Sinkhole.
Sinkhole. Thank you, Marie. This sinkhole. I am tired. We've been doing a lot of work. A sinkhole, which is just slightly beyond what you call the garden area or the fence, which I'm quite interested in. So, shall we get ready?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Apprehensive?
Brave.
One thing that's very, very apparent at this point is Marie, she's got a lot of anxiety there. I think things are affecting her more than what she's actually letting on. Let's go and speak to Robert now. Robert was the secretary of the Ghost Club, obviously a very, very long established organisation. See what his take is on things. Ah, Robert.
Yes.
I was just saying, very, very quite interesting some of the things that's been reported. Now, obviously, you used to be the secretary of the Ghost Club, and you are still obviously involved in the Ghost Club. What do you make of things up to now?
Well, in this house,
It sounds very interesting, doesn't it?
It's rather strange that a lot of the guests, paying guests, have actually left early, having paid their money for the full week, because of the paranormal experiences.
And also not being aware of the previous reports. This is what I find really, really interesting.
Yes, they all seem to be very similar. They've come here not knowing anything about the history of the house, or what happens here. They arrive to try and, expecting to have a nice, quiet, peaceful holiday, but things seem to happen that disturbs them.
Okay, I think, because I've not actually had a chance to look around yet, so I think I should have a look around.
Yes, they have a look round the house, and it's certainly a very interesting building, not only from the paranormal point of view, but from the architecture. The oldest part of the house goes back to about the time of the Magna Carta, which was 1215, which is quite considerable. Say 800 years of history. It'd be rather interesting to know what exactly has happened in the house in the past. No doubt people have died, which you'll find in most old houses. And also, many old houses have had a lot of change as regards the building's been altered. There isn't an old house, which hasn't had alterations at all.
Okay, so we've heard from quite a few people now about the said activity that's been taking place in this location. Obviously Marie is extremely nervous. It couldn't be any more apparent. There's a lot of pent-up anxiety there, so I think later at some point I'm going to have a little chat with Marie and get to the bottom of it, because a lot of the problem is, regardless of whether there's activity taking place, it's a lot of it, not a lot of it, sorry, the client's mental state is obviously half the battle. If she thinks that every sound that she hears excuse me, is paranormal, well, in fact she will think that. There has been some details which have not been mentioned yet about what happened to her when she was younger. Now I'm going to speak to her tomorrow. We are here all night, we're here tomorrow night as well, and see if she's quite willing to put that on camera. For reasons agreed, her identity is and will be obviously hidden, but there is a lot more to this story yet, which will unfold in the time that I'm here. Gonna crack on now, start investigating and see if, or not if, let's speak to some spirits. Let's speak to some spirits, and later I will play that recording that I mentioned earlier. Absolutely amazing recording. Very, very pleased with that. If that's an indication of how forthcoming these guys are, tonight should be good. So I'll be back in a few minutes with Robert and also Ian. Although still tired and feeling the drive, we decided to check out the location. This was more preliminary investigation for me to get a feel for the place rather than a full-on investigation. Okay, we've gone totally lights out now. The whole building is in darkness. Sometimes it's important to just be quiet, let the place settle and be itself. I've got Robert with me in this room. This is the room I'm staying in tonight, where the alleged apparition was seen of a very old woman with long grey hair. I've also got Ian Gunner with me. They're just sitting on the bed at the moment. It is pitch black. Here's Robert. And the other one there, it looks a bit like a criminal with his hat on. That's Ian.
Is that better?
Okay. So, Ian, quite interesting up to now, isn't it?
It has been fascinating actually so far.
Yeah, we haven't got a lot, but what we have got, we haven't actually tried to get a lot, to be honest. We've just tried a couple of recordings, and we've got a couple of pretty good ones there. So hopefully that's going to obviously increase throughout the night. Robert.
It's certainly interesting. It's a fascinating building. Those EVPs are interesting.
AVPs, Robert.
AVPs.
AVPs.
Yes.
EVPs. Right. So let me. What we're doing now is just letting the place settle. I'm just going to do what I normally do and pretend these two are not there at the minute. Not to be ignorant, but Okay, I've got someone here now. That's interesting. As soon as I walk through this door now, there wasn't anyone on the way in the room. Let's see if we can take a recording. I've got 2 recorders here. They're both different, slightly frequencies, so I'll try this one first. Hello and welcome. Thank you. I'm just going to sit on the stairs for a second. Robert, Ian, if you want to just follow me through, because everything was against us. It was raining, it was cold, it was very, very cloudy. But that said, I still managed to make contact, obtaining some clear replies. Sit there for a second. Okay, so now I'm in the room where Becky's just said, little girl. I'm going to play that one more time. That's actually a very good recording. She's got that at the beginning of girl, but... Right, Becky, interesting, a little girl. Wow, Becky's all over me at the minute. Okay, so look, what I was saying is, there's a little girl who'd like to come forward. Now, listen, sweetheart, if you want to be here, that's absolutely fine. If you don't want to be here, or you're frightened or whatever, you know, you're quite welcome, excuse me, to come with me and stay at my home. Guys, I wonder if anybody you want to come with me, and I'm after someone to give me their name. And the little girl's name I'm after in that room. Can you tell me what the little girl's name is, please? Thank you. Thank you. Put that on, Robert. Put that on, Robert. Robert, what do you hear?
Elizabeth, I'm Elizabeth.
How clear is that?
It's a lot clearer, it's getting clearer all the time.
Yeah, I said it would though, didn't I?
Yes.
Gunnar, what do you get from that?
I can hear I am very clearly.
No, you're putting extra in, you're putting I am. Lose the am and listen. I'm Elizabeth, listen.
Less static, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's listening to I'm Elizabeth. That's how it sounds, listen.
Yeah. The first bit's quite clear, isn't it?
Yes. They're getting clearer, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they are getting clearer.
Yeah, but I did say to you that
Yeah.
it would take several minutes, but it would gradually get clearer. Now, this is the interesting thing, guys. I said, I'm after the name of the little girl. That reply that came back is, I'm Elizabeth, which is suggesting that is the little girl responding. Yeah?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah? So, let's carry on with Elizabeth. Gunnar,
Let's have a look around.
you're looking happy.
I'm very impressed. I've never heard anything quite like that before, so I've
Okay.
caught one of my own tonight. We've witnessed this light switch here switch off
Yeah,
as
the
well,
light
which
did
was-
switch off.
which
Okay.
was pretty amazing. And obviously now we're picking up EVPs and they're getting clearer and clearer, so
What
let's
are
go.
we picking up, Ian?
There's definitely voice.
No, what are we picking up, Ian?
AVPs.
AVPs.
Get it right.
They're getting there. Right, so... Anyway, I think there's very little doubt, and this is even on small speaker, I mean, the question, you know, I can have the little girl's name. I'm Elizabeth. That's beautiful. How old are you, Elizabeth? Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, it's getting quite interesting now. We started off with clicks, got getting some faint voices, and then very loud, distorted sounds, and now it's kind of changing again now, and now we're actually getting something that does actually resemble proper speech, and in response to a question. Okay, so we're coming to the kitchen area now, and I went to sit on this chair here, and it wobbled like this. And asked Becky a question. I think don't know if she's referring to my weight. She says, don't break it. Have a listen to this. Very good that, isn't it, guys? So it's good that we can actually hear Becky. No, but Robert now, the voices are just starting to get, now the engine's building a little bit, you know, it's still very hit and miss, but Robert's now starting to hear what he would interpret as vocals, as opposed to something that sounds like it could be a vocal. So let's just go over to Robert now. So Robert, we heard from Elizabeth, and there you had a little taste of Becky.
Yeah, it's certainly the best EVP I think I've heard.
It's a what?
It's getting
clearer.
clearer.
It's a what, Robert?
So, I said EVP, didn't I?
You said EVP.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what does an EVP say?
It's
an ambient sound which resembles speech which is non-intelligent. Would you say these are non-intelligent?
I mean, earlier when we tried, it was very difficult to interpret, but the recordings are getting stronger and clearer.
Yeah, but I said they would.
I thought that was pretty cool. I've never heard anything quite like that come across a recording before. But the more and more you did it, the more and more, I guess, the noise kind of starts to dampen down, and you start to pick up clearer, more audible voices.
But they're certainly getting more. They're certainly getting clearer, and there's less static in the background.
But would you say that is intelligent response?
Yes.
It obviously is to the questions.
Yes.
I mean,
there's no doubt about it.
The one upstairs, I'd like to know the little girl's name, or the young girl's name. She says, "I'm Elizabeth."
Yes.
I mean, that is going to sound fantastic through the big speakers. You know, it's an intelligent, direct reply to a question.
There's obviously an intelligence behind the voice.
Obviously. So yeah, they're not still young. I know the conditions are, well, to be honest, when we arrived there, as bad as they could have been. We got thick cloud, torrential rain, and everything. But you know, we thought we'll just carry on anyway. So we've not really actually done anything yet. All we've done is pop in each room for a few minutes, haven't we? See if we can get any energy and any replies. So it is looking quite promising. I mean, you know, we are trying to get answers. We think there's 17 spirits here. It sounded like 17, didn't it?
Yes, that was another clear.
That was a clear one. 17. Well, at least it sounded like 17, and that was at that time. I don't know. There might be 117 now. And also, we know there's a young girl called Elizabeth. That's pretty good going in the time we've been actually doing this, isn't it?
We've literally just popped around a couple of rooms for 5-10 minutes. Each 5-10 minutes in each room.
Yeah.
And increasingly, again and again and again, the AVPs are picking up, and they're getting increasingly stronger, more clearer, more interesting.
And you said AVPs.
I got it right.
This place certainly is active. There's been lots and lots of reports now. Interestingly enough, they all seem to be emulating from guests reporting activity upstairs. In the time we've spent here this evening, we've not been constantly investigating. We're just a little bit here, a little bit there. We spent 5 minutes in each room up here. Now, interesting is the fact that the loud replies, the best replies, and also the energy is all. This is the old. So I'm tired. This is the old part of the building. The energy up here, as you come upstairs, you can feel the energy. As I walked in this door, you can feel the energy. On the landing, you can feel the energy. Downstairs, it's very, very hit and miss. I'm not feeling much energy at all, which has been reflected in some of the recordings. We've got some pretty good vocals. We've got some very clear ones now. Apparently, there's some graves, the spirits told me, further back. Now, I don't know what further back means, or even in which direction. I'm assuming it's to the rear of the property. Apparently there's 11 as well. So, I don't know. I'll check tomorrow with the client, see if there's any rumours or anything that they know about it. I mean, we're talking 800 years worth of history, so there may well be, and there may not even be documented, but there's a lot of people that died here in this old part of the building from smallpox, including, I think it was something like 7 children. So 11 could possibly be a whole family, you know, 7 children. I mean, we know, going back all them years that people had a lot of children, parents and probably grandparents. I don't know. That is pure speculation. Definitely activity up here. Definitely people up here. So yeah, it's certainly been interesting. Robert Snow, but it's the first time I met Robert. Nice guy. He's certainly been impressed with what he's heard. Which is quite incredible, really, which is good. Anyway, I'm tired, I've babbled enough. I'm going to get into bed, see why the night vision camera. We'll try that for 10-15 minutes. I actually think I'll do quite well on that. I think I'm going to do quite well, but you know, we'll see. The next morning, with Gunnar still in bed, I took the opportunity to talk with Marie, who was now feeling a little bit better. People often ignore the outside of a place and they concentrate on the inside, but often, very often, it's to do with the outside more than the inside. So, how are you feeling now? A little bit slightly better than you did? Because you was...
A little bit better.
Do you know what, yesterday, you was in the States.
Yes.
And do you know what, you was also hiding it a lot as well, suppressing it.
I know that there's things here, and guests have said that.
Yeah.
But I'm very scared of things that you can't see.
Well, naturally, most people are. Now, one of the things that you mentioned is one of the rooms upstairs when you take the hoover up, it doesn't work. Is that all the time it doesn't work?
It did it a few times for me, and so I never went upstairs on my own again. In fact, I don't clean upstairs anymore.
Well, just before I've gone,
Yes.
you will go upstairs on your own if it will.
Oh no.
No, you will, trust me. No, you'll be happy to.
Right.
You will be happy to, trust me.
And do you think that whoever is upstairs, with regards to the 11 graves, do you think they want acknowledgement? Do you think they want to stay?
Do you know what? If that is the case, then quite possibly.
Right.
Now, the thing is, we could be talking about having an entire family.
Yes.
And it's happened in the past. To people that don't believe the paranormal, that sounds absolutely absurd, but obviously, you know, we're getting voices from somewhere. And also Robert Snow, now he was secretary of the Ghost Club, he's not a silly man. He's seen it all. He was totally blown away last night.
Was he really? I'm very interested in that.
Day, so we'll get some daylight shots tonight. We're going to get outside to check that out.
Get some fresh air.
Get some fresh air and another packet of cigarettes.
Yes.
Because Robert came without any. He smoked all mine all night. Unbelievable.
I've got some soon, and so
oh, okay.
we can try and get some as well, because we live in the middle of nowhere.
I am being looked after, aren't I?
Yes.
I'm being very well looked after. So yeah, we'll pop back later, a further update. We're still trying to unravel and put pieces together, but you know, we're making progress. We're making progress, and that's what I'm here for. Okay.
Yes, yes.
The following morning, Marie was feeling a little better. The rain had stopped. I took the opportunity to get acquainted with some of the locals.
What have I got here? Hang on then, calm down.
She's got brambles in her.
No, this one. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Friend to the animals, friend to the spirits. Don Phillips.
We need to get all these brambles.
You can get this one in the car in.
Let's take him. My mum would love him.
The way the car's running, it might come in useful. Okay, this is Don again. Obviously I've got all country files now. Last night some very interesting information obtained from Becky about potentially 12 graves. From my perspective, I actually think what Becky was talking about, she said further back, we didn't know it was to the side, or, well, to the front, or whichever angle you're at, but if that's the case, now over there, which I'll show you in a moment or later, it's just hills and dales and fields, and I can't see people wanting to go that far to bury infected people or throw them in a pit or whatever. It is very windy, it's going to be affecting the sound. I know that, I apologise for that. This is just totally off the cuff, just trying to come out before it gets dark. I think this mound up here could potentially be where Becky was referring to. Now, we've spoken to a lady called Elizabeth as well. She's obviously got some attachment to this place, so it's getting very, very interesting. We'll crack on and we'll see how we go. Afternoon, fellas. Hi guys, we are. Well, it's now 1:30, and we are about to the second part of the investigation. This is now the second night. Last night, you know, I was absolutely mentally tired. You know, I'd finished work, got a few hours sleep, drove down here. 5 hours and 40 minutes it took to get here with the weather conditions and the road restrictions. You know, it's like 50 mile an hour nearly all the way here. So I was slaughtered. Anyway, I grabbed a pot noodle, carried on right through until 4:30 this morning. Since then I've had a couple of hours sleep, and like I said, this is the second day of the investigation. Now I feel more in my element. I've had a little bit of a rest. Now what's important is Marie's categorically refusing to go upstairs on her own. and so is Cole as well. Now, if I'm to leave here now and leave things as it is, I'm here for the best interest of my client. I've been honest. We've got some good replies, which I will put out at some point. But you, regardless of your fear, whether it's justified or not, okay, you can only get over that fear by facing that fear. She's just literally said, Don, you don't know me. Honestly, I am not going to go up there on my own. We'll wait and see, because I can be quite persuasive, and it's what she needs to do. Well, both of them. So we're going to get past that at some stage tonight. I'm going to go back to the guys now, grab a quick coffee, and I'll see you very shortly. Right, okay, we're just about to start the investigation. I've got Nicole with me now. We're going totally dark now, we're going in night vision. The energy is higher than what it was last night, so I'm expecting some quite good results. Nicole, and how are you feeling about tonight, Nicole? A
little bit nervous, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
And you don't want to particularly go up on your own, do you?
No, that's right.
You're not going to, are you?
No.
You are. You are. Okay, so the other we've got Ian down here now with Marie. Marie also, I'm just watching my step. We are in night vision. It is pitch black. Marie's also feeling very, very apprehensive. So the conditions are very, very different tonight. Where's Marie? Let's have a quick word with Marie. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling? Because this is you are really quite nervous about tonight, aren't you now?
I am, yes.
Okay. And you're another one. You're totally refusing to go upstairs on your own, aren't you? You are really quite frightened, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah, but you're not going to leave me on my own, are you?
It was without doubt a beautiful building and beautiful surroundings. It was important that began to enjoy the property, the surrounding area, and was free of her fear. So anyway, we'll have a quick word with Gunnar now, and then we're going to just work our way around the whole building. Everywhere is in darkness. Very, very apprehensive things. Gunnar. Tonight is totally different to last night. The energy levels are higher. It's a little bit warmer. It's not so cold now, is it?
It's not so cold actually. It's quite warm in the building. Like I say, it does feel like the energy's a lot clearer than it was yesterday. We've got different conditions, of course, outside. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Don. I'm interested to see what we can find.
Okay, so let's crack on. I think what we'll do. Let's go upstairs first. Let's do upstairs.
Yeah.
We'll work our way down, but we will probably go back upstairs afterwards, because last night everything was upstairs, wasn't it?
Yeah. We were picking up stuff certainly downstairs, but you could tell. I mean, you could feel it was coming from
upstairs.
As
soon as we went upstairs.
Yeah. Okay. As soon as you went upstairs, much stronger. So let's start there. Let's see what we can find.
We've now just got upstairs to the top of the building. Marie just said something quite interesting. What did you say, Marie? You thought it was a what? A sheep on the bed? Is that what I heard? Okay, let's scrap that one and carry on.
It's a bag.
Okay.
Thankfully, my underwear's not on the floor.
On a serious note, these two ladies are very, very, very nervous, and I think it's time to alleviate their fears a little. Now, you don't like being up here on your own, do you?
No.
So a good place to start would be for one of them at least to actually be in a bedroom on their own. How do you feel about that, Nicole?
I'll have to be very brave.
You're going to do that though, yeah?
I'll give it a go.
No, you're going to do that. Okay, so you come with me. Hold on. Okay, so we're just going to put Nicole in this room here. Now, what's your head? Oh, it's very tight? Yeah. This is the room that I've actually been staying in. Said to be a very, very, very active room. So what I'm going to do is, Nicole's going to be staying here for a while now.
Right, okay.
Is that, you look a little bit nervous.
Yeah, a little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous. Right, there's a chair there.
Okay.
Now, if anything happens, anything moves, any sound, you feel like you've been touched or you feel nervous, okay, I'm the other side of that door.
Right.
I'm not a million miles away.
Okay.
All right. We're actually going downstairs and get a coffee, but you don't need to know that. No, I'm only joking. I'll just be the other side of the door, Nicole.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to leave you there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. In fact, what I'd like you to do, if I leave you this camera,
Okay.
just talk about how you're feeling and things, just for a couple of minutes.
Right.
All right. Can you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I'll go and talk to you, and we'll join Nicole back in the next couple of 3 minutes. I'll tell you when your time's up. All right.
All right. Okay. It's very quiet, but it's very warm. Can't see anything around me. Just a matter of how it goes, really. There's not really much in here. It's too scary, but it's yeah, very frightening. I haven't seen anything. I think I'll have to be going on my own soon, which would be quite scary.
So I was playing there.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
How did you get on?
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay. Stand up. Okay. So was that as bad as you thought it'd be?
No, nowhere near.
Okay, but just the thought of it was quite scary for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so that's the first stage. You know what the second stage is?
What's that?
You're coming up on your own later.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. See now you're agreeing to do it now. Can you see how this works?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cracking.
Right.
Let's get back to the others now. I've just tried to take a couple of recordings. Why? Well, you was in there, but there wasn't particularly clear that the energy is still low. So that's going to take time to actually build. But let's go to the other room, because there's a room up here which apparently is supposed to be the worst room to all intents and purposes. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so just tell me, why is this room said to be the worst room?
It's where you feel really dizzy and hot and sweaty. You feel sick.
So it's just physical things. There's nothing been reported there?
Yes, there has.
There has, okay.
Bed sheets being pulled off of people.
Oh, okay, that's different. Okay. Now you said bed sheets pulled off of people.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I mean, is this guests?
Yeah, guests that have stayed. People have made contact with somebody in there.
Okay. What's the most recent occurrence or report?
Oh, God grief.
Recently or a few months ago?
On that room. That room specifically.
Weeks, months?
A couple of months ago.
Couple of months. So it is.
Yeah.
It is quite recent then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go and check that out now. That very strange sound was not paranormal. That was Marie. What's the matter, Marie?
I don't feel good.
Already, we've just literally got outside the door. Marie's feeling
My arms are back.
feeling not good.
No.
You're not.
No, look at my arms.
Let me see. Okay. Okay, so Marie's just compose yourself. We've just gone into this room now, which is supposed to be, well, apparently the worst one, to intended purposes. I mean, here with Nicole. Coming into this room, I've got to say, very oddly, there is a lot of energy in this room, that I will confess. But you know what? Above that, in the hallway, just around the side of that door, there's a radiator on full blast, and it's very, very hot. Is this not on? No, this radiator's not on in this room. So okay, that's what the temperature difference is. But it does feel cooler than what you would expect when you've got all that heat on the landing. Just quite literally. Where Gunner's standing, let me just go to Gunner. Now, Gunner's standing there, and that's warm, isn't it?
It's really warm.
It's hot. It's actually hot. Okay, you come into this room, Gunner. Sorry. It shouldn't be this cold, should it?
It's a lot damper, isn't it?
It should not be this cold. It should not be this cold.
There's a little bit of a chill in here.
Yeah, it should not be. I'd expect it to be cooler, but not this cold. All right, I think I'm going to take a couple of recordings at this time, because apparently this is...
It's actually getting colder.
Yeah. I'm not feeling anything in a negative sense in here at all. Now there might be reasons why people feel a bit nauseous and things. Gunnar, how are you feeling? Are you feeling any different?
I'm feeling warmer than I did when I came in.
Yeah, the temperature's gone up, hasn't it?
Yeah. Now I'm trying to work out. Something put my hand behind myself. No, the wall. I can't feel the heat of the radiator through the wall.
Oh, because the radiator is
It's the other side of this wall where I'm standing, but I actually feel a lot warmer than I did when I came in.
For my part, I don't think there's a problem in this room. I think there's quite a lot of energy in this room, and people can be adversely affected by different energies because it's all down to sensitivity. What may affect one person won't affect another. So we cannot dismiss the accounts of other people.
I think it's getting colder again.
Well, that side.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. In fact, let's have a word with Marie. You said when you're standing there you feel nauseous and all sorts. Okay. You've been standing there now for a good 5 minutes, and that's probably the longest time you've spent in here, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. And you're not feeling too bad, are you? To what you would expect to.
No.
Because sometimes that expectation will obviously heighten and add to any anxieties and things. So it's not as bad as you thought just being in here, is it?
Not with you guys in here, no.
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. So we're going into the small room at the end here at the moment. Is there anything you can tell me about this?
This room.
Yeah.
My younger sister reportedly seen sitting bolt up right in bed there.
What, your sister?
Talking.
Oh, is this now? You did actually say this is actually quite important. Your sister was talking to somebody.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
In the middle of the night.
How long ago was this?
Oh, good grief.
Recently? 6 months?
No, about 10 years ago.
Oh, it's a long, long time ago. Okay,
Yeah.
so how old was she then?
About 7.
About 7 years old. Okay, that's quite interesting. I say that through experience of dealing with other clients. So, what's the story behind that?
Well, she just used to sit up and it'd just be, her eyes would be open and she would have a full-blown conversation. And she'd obviously be hearing replies which none of us could hear.
Okay, which is not uncommon. Okay, and on what age how long did that last for?
I don't know the length of time, but it involved, that was when my father first sort of got historians involved.
Okay, let's just concentrate. Let's just take a seat here. That's an interesting story. Historians, so tell me the full story. What happened? So we understand that a 7-year-old child is presumably being able to see people that we wouldn't normally see and hear them, and she's having a full-blown conversation with them, to the point you brought historians in. And did they actually uncover anything?
Yes, they did. They said that tracing back through the years, that they discovered that there was a family that had lost 7 children to smallpox up here. And that's who they believed it was.
And so you believe that she was speaking to a spirit child?
To children.
To children.
Which is why my father never decided to do anything about it, because there wasn't any adults. It was more like children.
More like children.
And the kids were all happy here.
They was happy.
Yeah.
You see, this is the interesting thing. You know, we often hear, you know, spirits are traps and this and everything else, but I never heard anything to suggest that, or that they're even unhappy. It would appear that they're going about their business in their realm as pretty much like we would in ours, you know, for the most part. Mm. Okay, so the historians did. Now, the other thing is as well, we've not actually mentioned yet, and if you don't want to mention this, I'll cut this out of this video, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Some time ago, you did do a Ouija board, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. In one of the outer buildings. What happened?
It was actually down in the lounge.
Oh, was it? Sorry, I stand corrected. In the lounge. Mm. Now, you've already actually said to me what actually occurred, and to put it bluntly, it scared the shit out of you, didn't it?
Well, it was back in 2001, and my dad used to go away a lot on business, and myself and my stepmom would look after the children. Mm-hmm. And to fill our time in the evening, you know, we started doing this, at first we thought it was sort of like a joke.
Just a bit of fun, as
Just
many
a little
people
bit
do.
of fun. Yeah, as you say, the first few times it took about 20 or 30 minutes to... Some nights it didn't even work. It took about 20 or 30 minutes to actually get anything through.
Okay.
And it involved my ex-partner at the time, who I'd have sitting in with me and used to write down what was said.
Okay.
And indeed it did point us to some interesting things. The building over the way,
Yeah.
where my brother lives, the chappie that we'd made contact with told us to go there and look above the lintel.
Okay.
on his door frame, and we did the very next day, and sure enough his initials were there.
Wow, and these are the initials of the name which was you got from the Ouija board?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. That's really interesting,
Yeah.
actually. What was the name? Can you remember?
Yeah, William Tucker, W.T.
William Tucker.
Yeah.
And am I right in saying that, I mean, there's generations of Tuckers that have passed through this place, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
And also the children that... Sorry, just give me a second. The children that passed through this place, that sort of died, the 7 children, so is it believed that they were all Tuckers as well?
I don't know the history.
Oh, we don't know. We just know that at some point there was lots of children.
Yes.
Okay, that's really interesting. There's something else I want to talk to you about later, but again, I don't know if we'll include it in this. If not, then we won't. Okay. It's to do with what happened when you were a child and that you previously explained to me. So you know, whatever you're comfortable with, fine. Anything else we'll admit that's not a problem. Right. Okay. Thanks for that.
Okay. I didn't actually tell you that there came a time when the board waited for us.
The board waited for you? Okay.
Where I explained before that it would take 20 to 30 minutes to communicate.
Yeah.
There came a time that it became instantly active when we both put our fingers on the glass.
At any point, did this glass do anything?
It did, which is why we stopped it.
Yeah, what happened?
I made it stop. We both had our fingers on the glass.
Yeah.
And it started to slide out of the circle.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
And both of us removed our fingers and the glass flew across the room and smashed against the wall, and all the windows started rattling.
That's a very scary account. That's like something straight out of a horror movie.
It was really scary.
I'm not surprised you stopped it after that. I think most people would stop it after that. So prior to that, you thought it's just something you do. It's just a little bit of fun.
It's never anything to joke with, and I don't think I'd ever do it again.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, there's a lot of controversy, obviously, surrounding whether there is any genuine interaction takes place between humans and spirits where Ouija boards are concerned, but. Equally, I mean, I know these things have been tested. Now, the problem I have with that, I'll make this very, very brief. You know, we can blindfold people, we can put them in a laboratory, and we can do the test, and they will fail the test. And you know what? I'm not actually surprised. For my part, occasionally, and I say occasionally, under the right circumstances, these things can be manipulated by unseen forces. The thing is, whether you're getting vocal responses, whether they're loud or whether they're quiet, that depends on the right conditions. For a spirit person to be able to manipulate an object to make something move, especially moving something physically, that again depends on it being the right conditions. Now the problem that we've got is, because that is unscientifically proved and there's no scientific evidence that this can occur sometimes, but because people believe that it can, it's also open to interpretation when there's a lot of people got the fingers on glasses. They all will believe in that it's working every time that they try it. Now these are the kind of people that say, yeah, take me into a lab under controlled conditions and I'll show you that it works. They get blindfolded, it doesn't work. Problem being there is that's because the conditions were nowhere near like they needed to be in the first place. But the people that take part in using Ouija boards often believe, at least 99% of the time, it is actually unseen forces that's manipulating the object, and this is not always the case. And this is why it's another area that it becomes very grey and very muddy. But I will be addressing this at some later date, which you might find very, very interesting. Marie, that was an absolutely incredible story. Very interesting. I think we're going to crack on now. Okay, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was a really interesting account of what Marie said was actually transpired. The Ouija board, the story, the children, the reports from guests. There's been obviously a lot of things going on here in the past. Now, what I find really interesting, some of these reports from guests that had no inclination or any knowledge or prior knowledge of this place or any suggested hauntings, children or anything else. That's what I find very, very interesting. And also, I have actually read the guest book from people that have stayed here. You know, they talk about things like the flickery lights kind of freak me out a little bit and things like that. So I do find this, you know, there is tangible. Well, there is evidence that obviously this is not what you would consider to be a non-occurrence. You know, I mean, people tend to rent these places, come on holiday. The last thing that they tend to be thinking of is you know, oh, it's haunted and someone's pulled my sheets off and I've had children jumping on the bed. So it's all very, very interesting. On a serious note now, earlier we saw Nicole in the room. She's currently sitting just down there on a chair. She's about to get a little bit more nervous. You know what's going to happen next, don't you? Join me in a minute. I'm taking these downstairs. In fact, if you can, right, come with me. Everybody downstairs.
Oh my God.
At least.
Come with me,
Are
darling.
you going to take a light or anything? Are you going to be okay?
No, we're going to light it for him.
But you can't leave somebody up here on their own. It's not what we do. Do we go in the kitchen?
Yeah, just wait in the pool room for me.
It's really cold.
No, it's fine. Just go in the pool room and wait for me.
No, it's really cold.
Yeah, that's fine. Just wait for me in the pool room.
No, it is. It's
Sweetheart, it's a temperature. Temperature's not going to kill you. All right.
Can we turn the light on?
You can turn the lights on, yeah.
What I find really interesting and fascinating about some of the stories we've just heard from Cole and Maria as well is, independently, I've also been able to corroborate some of those stories myself with no prior conversation, no prior knowledge, of course, of what they may or may not say. Interestingly, I was at a window just earlier on and I actually went downstairs and told Don this. I was upstairs just getting some things, just doing a normal business. And as I walked past the window, something caught my eye out of the periphery. I looked around and there behind, or what I thought was behind the tree, was a person. As soon as I looked, there was nothing. And obviously you will see the evidence for yourself. You know, as Cole's talking to Don downstairs, she actually mentions just the same thing happening herself. You know, so that was kind of interesting and strange. Okay, let's catch up with Don and find out what's going on.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Don.
Right, what I've done is I've just given a little bit of a break. You know, they're very, very good at masking, but they are still nervous. Nicole's actually coming on in leaps and bounds. I mean, she's staying in that room on her own for a while. I'm going to get them both to come up individually on their own. And I don't want to mention that at this point, just because it's about timing. But I've got to force this issue. So I've just sent them downstairs now. We'll go down, and then what I'm planning on doing is sending Nicole up on her own. We're not going to be cruel. We are going to send her up with a light. Okay. Point being, you saw Marie. She's still very, very scared. Marie's anxieties over the last few hours have become more and more apparent. Because of this, on the second night, I decided to totally scrap the investigation and concentrate on her welfare instead. You saw Marie. She's still very, very scared. But it makes sense, this, and you'll relate to this. If Nicole comes up,
Absolutely.
and she comes down, she's fine. That's the point. Then you say, Marie, now I want you to go on. Okay. So let's go down now. Let's join them, and see how Nicole gets on. Okay, I just had a little break now. I've got a very, very nervous young lady here. You know, remember Nicole who said she's not going to go upstairs on her own?
I think I'm going to brave it.
You are going to brave it. Now, the other thing is, what I've not mentioned to you yet, is I'm not going to send you upstairs with a torch. I don't want you to cheat and put any lights on, but I will send you with the night vision camera. But that's, to be honest, purely for health and safety reasons, so you can see where you're going.
Okay.
What I want you to do,
Yeah.
there's several rooms upstairs.
Right.
What I want you to do is walk into one room,
Okay.
wait 10 seconds, walk out and go into each room,
All of them.
all of them,
Right.
and then come back downstairs. That's all you need to do. Also, Nicole, this is good for Marie as well, because if you do this, she's refused to go up.
Yeah.
Point blank, she will go up if she sees you come down okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm only down at the bottom of the stairs anyway, so
Okay.
All right.
You're only a call away.
I'm only here, right, so hold on. And I'll see you in a minute or two.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Wish me luck.
You don't need it, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Nothing there to hurt you. Just watch your head.
All right.
And I'll just say, if you come down too quick, I'll send you back up again. All right.
All right. Answer me. Camera won't focus. It's focusing now. Gonna go to my first room. It's easy because I can actually see everything that's going on through the camera, although I can't actually see anything in front of me. These rooms are quite hard for me, especially to be on my own. I think I'm going to go for this one first. Yeah, I actually feel really hot in here. This isn't the room, it's normally my worst room, but still nothing bad has happened yet.
You okay, Cole?
Yes, I'm fine.
How many rooms have you done?
I just got one more left. Am I on track?
You're on track.
This is my scariest room.
Okay, Cole's return. So, was that as bad as you thought it'd be?
No, it was a lot better.
Was it quite liberating as well?
Yeah, it was a lot easier carrying the camera around with me.
Okay.
It was sort of like a guided light, but you can't see anything, and so
Yeah.
it sort of puts that together.
But how do you feel now you've done that?
I'm much braver.
It's
It
the expectation,
sort of goes-
isn't it? Before you
Yeah.
go up, you kind of build it up in your mind, think,
You
oh my
do.
God, we're not there on my own, and
Yeah.
you've got all these reports from other people, but you've
Oh,
done it
yeah.
now. So do you know what? If I said to you, right, I want you to go upstairs for 15 minutes and sit in a room on your own without the camera, in the dark, you'd be a little bit apprehensive, understandably, but I think you would do that, wouldn't you? At a push.
Yeah, at a push, I
At a
would.
push. Okay, we do push. So
Yeah.
that is a possibility later on. But what I want to do, I mean, we'll do a little stage at a time, because this is for your benefit, because this is a beautiful, beautiful building. And I know you work here, but you still enjoy being here, don't you?
Oh yes, definitely.
And you want to get the most out of it. And
Oh yeah.
at the end of the day, that fear is affecting your life to some extent, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know, you're a lovely girl, you've got a lovely job here, and it's a lovely building. So
That's it.
that's
Yeah, it's a beautiful building.
yeah. So
So it'd be nice to take full advantages of it. And
exactly.
Enjoy it a bit more.
Okay, so now's going to be the difficult part.
Oh.
In fact, you know what I think we should do? If I
What's
send
that?
Marie upstairs with you first,
Yeah.
before I send her up on her own, because now you're more confident that will
Yeah.
with her.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
You happy to do that?
Yeah, we'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go. Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
Prior to my involvement, I had consulted with a medium. The information that the medium gave her was not conducive to the welfare of the client or indeed the case.
Here now, but I just feel really apprehensive.
We're just having a little bit of a discussion because Marie's still not happy at the moment. But come in close, guys. Come in. Marie.
But things were due to get much worse before getting better.
You're just saying that you're still not happy.
No, I'm really apprehensive.
I've just suggested that Cole goes up with Marie. I think it's to do with acceptance level. It's the sort of thing, once you've done it, there's not going to be a problem. But the thing is, you've got all this stuff going on in your mind, what the people have told you, what you believe and everything else, and we need to get over that, because do you know what? I can't do that for you. If you want to spend the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life feeling the same way about this place, that's your choice, you can do that. But the alternative is, you know what, we can gradually move past that so you can actually enjoy this place.
There's nothing to be scared
Lose
of.
the anxiety.
There really isn't.
Oh, listen to this one. There's nothing to be scared of.
There isn't.
Eh?
There
No, that's
isn't.
a little bit of a turnaround.
There isn't though. There's nothing.
There's not. There's nothing there to... Do you know what? If there was, like I said to you
Then they
earlier,
would have scared.
if there was anything malevolent, anything to hurt you, then it would have been a whole different ball game. I'll be doing it different. I said to you on the phone,
I don't trust.
I'm not here to tell you things to make you feel better. I'm here to be honest with you. Yeah?
If they're going to harm us anyway, they would have done it by now.
It's not going to happen. Marie, trust me.
You've been on a roller coaster, haven't you, Marie?
Yes, she has, but just trust me, all right?
I don't trust them.
No, yeah, but you will trust them.
They're not here to hurt you, they're just there because
No.
this was their home as well, and this is their
You
home.
don't
Okay.
understand about the past. So.
Yeah, I understand about the past. I do understand about the past, and I understand about people, and I understand that you don't want to do this, but I also know you now, and I also know that you can do this. Because you know what, you're a strong woman. You really are a strong woman. You've got to let go of this. Do you know what, in 5 minutes' time you can be down here saying, wow, you know, or you got the next 30, 40 years of your life feeling how you are now.
That's it, it wouldn't have changed how you feel now, because if we go and do it now, that's a big difference, isn't it?
When you've lived your whole life in fear.
Hang on. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Sorry.
And don't apologise.
There's been so many incidents.
Yeah, I know that, but you know what, sweetheart, listen, I'm here. I'm here for a reason.
They weren't all nice, they were horrible.
Yeah, I know that as well, but you know what?
They hurt me.
Just trust me. Yeah, but we're going back a long way, a long time. And so, so to you, that is what happens, this is what happens, and it's really not. It's really not. We will talk about her story, the full story, sometime later this evening if she's feeling strong enough and she actually wants to do that. But in the meantime, it's the here and now that we need to sort out. So, go on, make me proud. Just try it.
I shit my pants.
You can shit your pants. That's not a problem. You can, you know, but just trust me. Trust me. I'm going to be at the bottom of the stairs.
I'm crying because
I know
I'm
you're
so
crying.
scared.
Listen, I'll be at the bottom of the stairs. So you just come with me, Nicole, now. Okay, come on, sweetheart. In fact, I'll tell you, you've got to be brief because I've got to change the battery on this camera.
Good.
I'll be back in a
I
minute.
don't know how bad this is.
Okay, I've just popped out now with Gunnar. Now I've left. I'm just saying to Gunnar, it's about foundations and people supporting each other. There's no point. There's actually 3 people involved in this. We can't actually involve the other person. It's quite a young person. We can't involve them at the moment. But there's lots of more going on which we can't go into. That is confidential. The first part of all these people getting past is the foundation. The first building block of that foundation is instilling confidence and control in one person. That person, as you've already seen now, is Cole. Okay, she's quite happy now. She come down. You know, she's actually smiling. Well, that wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. I've not looked at the video she took yet. That might tell a different story. You know, but you know, she's come down now, and she's now talking to Maria, saying, come on, you can come up with me, it'll be fine, it's all right and everything. You know, Maria is really, really still struggling with this, but you know what, we are going to get past that because I'm here to do a job, and that job is not just, I'm not here on an evidence gathering mission, it entails everything. So,
We're just chatting.
so oh right, they've just come out now. All right, so, are you all right? All right. Right, I think I'm going to go for a little bit of a warm because it's a little bit nippy out here now. What do you think, Gunnar? Hey, you know what, Gunnar? There's a little hole we need to investigate yet.
Oh yes,
We've got to go over there as well.
We've got somewhere else to check. I'm glad that, you know, having coming out with you done, I now have the confidence to go over there, and then I have the control, and I feel okay about that.
That's good. I'm going to send him on his own. He's pausing now. No, I'm only joking, mate.
Change of plan. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, we'll be back in a little while. I'm just going to get a little bit of a warm, and then we'll carry on. And once we've done what I want to sort out, then we'll carry on with a little bit of the investigation before we we won't draw it to a close. I'll go over there yet. Then we'll draw it to a close, and also.
So brave going up there, Carl.
I want to talk to Marie about the other things we've not mentioned yet, so we'll be back shortly. Okay, just a little break at the moment. Marie's still, she's very emotional at the minute, and she's still extremely frightened. And I'd said there's a lot to this case in the past that you won't be aware of, which you won't be aware of. So it is a little bit delicate, and I do understand it. And she did say to me, do you think I'm mad? Well, no, I don't, because you know what? As I've explained, it doesn't matter. I mean, through life, whether it's spiritual or not, many of us have been through things that leave an emotional scar. I mean, that's human beings. That's who we are. But at the end of the day, there comes a point when we need, even though it's against our will, we need to take control of us, take control of our lives, so that to enable us to move forward. Marie's also said she's not ready for this right now. Which I totally do respect and understand, but to force the issue, I've got to force the issue, because it's one of them things where if you're uncomfortable with something, you're never ready for it, because there's always tomorrow. Unfortunately, sooner or later, you've got to get to the point and think, well, this is that tomorrow. So I'll just have a little word with her. Are you okay to have a word?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so obviously you just heard me just explaining. You're still not in a particularly good place at the moment.
No.
It's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to do this. We're going to do this. You understand that? Yeah. I know you don't want to.
I'm really apprehensive.
Yeah, I know you are, and of course you are. That's normal. But we are going to do this. You'll come down with a smile on your face. Well, I don't about smile because it's you, but you'll come down and give me a hug, say you know what I've done.
I'll come down saying something else, I think.
Well, if you do, we'll put lots of bleeps in the video. But now, we've been talking about this now for the last hour. So I think we're going to do this now. What Phil, I'm going to do first of all is you're going to go up with Cole. Okay?
I'm not going on my own.
Well, let's not even contemplate that at the moment. At the moment, we're going to go up with Cole.
I'm not going on my own.
You trust me? You do trust. You know what? I may not as well be here if you're not going to trust me, sweetheart.
No, there's no way I can go up there.
No, there is. There really is.
No. I'll go up with Carly, but I'm not going up on my own.
Okay. This is a little bit unprecedented, but yes, you are. Trust me. Eventually, you will. Not at the moment, but you will. It's going to happen, but it'll be for you, for the good. Just trust me. Just trust me, sweetheart. Listen, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm not here talking crap to make you feel better. I understand the full story, everything, and I mean everything. So we're going to first stage now. We're going to go. You're going to go with Cole now. Okay. I don't want you to go in every room. Okay. First of all, I'd just like you to go up and sit. There's a chair on the landing, isn't there? Just sit on the chair on the landing for a couple of minutes and just come down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this then. Come on. We'll be back shortly. Okay. Marie's just come down from a little venture upstairs with Cole, and just see how she's feeling now. Okay, Marie. So you're obviously you're back down. It was obviously uncomfortable for you, but nothing happened, did it?
I'm alive.
You are alive. Yeah, I'm very pleased to hear it. From my reputation, to be honest, it would not look good, would it? So how was she?
She was actually really well. Really good.
Really good.
We actually turned the light off twice.
Yeah.
And not at any point did she tell me to put it back on.
Brilliant.
She did tell me she was really uncomfortable. So
Okay.
at the end I did feel, got to turn it back on, but we were sat there.
Because you didn't think, I know it's different for
quite
you,
some time.
slightly different for you, but you didn't think you would go up there at all, did you?
No.
You refused initially.
And I was really comfortable sat there.
And you was really, that's really good to hear, because you went up there for a couple of minutes and come down,
Yeah.
didn't you? So now you can go back up for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that all right? And what I
Yeah.
want you to do is just sit in one room, the most active room on your own for 10 minutes. Is that okay? Can you do that for me? I know you're a little bit apprehensive now, but that looks like a yes to me because you've got a smile on your face.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, we've got to push it. It's about building on foundations.
Right.
Okay, you'll come down and you go, wow, yeah, no problem.
Which
you did last
room?
time. In the one that everybody thinks is the most active one.
I don't know. 10 minutes?
5 minutes.
That's a long time.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
That's still a long time if you're on your own here.
Yeah, I know, but you would need to build on things. 5 minutes. All right.
I'll give it a go.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Cole's just come down now, having just spent a few minutes in what they said is a bad room on her own in the dark with no light. Here she comes now. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're still smiling. So, question. How did you get on?
Well, it was really scary to begin with. Well,
Yeah.
actually, the whole of it was really scary.
Yeah.
But I kept closing my eyes as if the scaredness would go away, but then I'd open them and there's nothing to be afraid of.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
No.
No, there's not. Now, did you
There was
really
nothing
think
there.
you was going to go up there and do that today?
No, no way.
Okay, question. If tomorrow Marie said, will you just hoover that room for me, would you go up and do that?
Yeah, probably.
Would you have done it
Yeah.
yesterday?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Like I said, it's all about acceptance levels and actually seeing things for what it is and not what you think it might be. It's nice, comfy room.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it at
Comfortable
all.
bed.
Yeah.
And so, well done. Well done.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Okay, a happy customer. The next customer's going to be a little bit more difficult. Now, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do this differently with Marie. So what we do, I'm going to go with Marie now. We're going to take the light up, Marie. In fact, more than that, yeah, we're going to do that, and we're going to do more or less a similar thing. And you're not going to thank me for it now, but you will by the time you've come down.
I'm not going up on my own.
No, you're not going up on your own. I'm going up with you.
I'm not staying on my own.
Well, yeah, actually you will be for a very short period of time.
I can't do that.
No,
I'm
come here,
sorry.
darling. Come here. Come here. Come here.
No, I need to go toilet now.
As long as you come back, if you're not back in 5 minutes, I'm going to send
No,
you to go and fetch you.
I don't think I can do that.
Well, let's talk about it when you come back. You just go toilet first. It's not, it's no problem. Just trust me. Just go and do what you need to do.
I know that I really can't do that on my own.
Okay, but just go toilet.
But that's serious.
I'm being serious. Go toilet. I don't want any puddles on the floor, do we?
No, when I say I'm going toilet, it means I'm going home. Oh, I can't.
Are you going home?
I
No.
can't do that.
Come up with me then.
You can't. I know I can't be left on my own.
No, just come up with me. Trust me.
Why don't you just go up together like we did?
We're going up now. Come
Go
on.
get
Put
that
your hat
coat.
down. You don't need your hat because you're not going home. Come on. Come on. You're stalling. Where's the light? Come on, darling.
I can't stay there on my own. That's completely impossible.
You see where you're going?
Yes. Promise me you won't leave me that. I can't do this. I can't go on my own. You know?
Just trust me.
There's a hat.
Watch your head.
I've got it.
Okay, so we're just popping up here.
I actually feel really bad when I go in here.
I'm going to bypass that room, actually, and put in another one.
Mm-hmm.
For now. Out of respect for the way that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is the room that I've been staying in, obviously, which you are familiar with. Watch your head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just sit in that chair.
Yeah.
Okay, now what I'm going to do, unlike with Cole, is... you alright?
Yeah.
Right, stop looking like you're seeing things, which you're not.
No, I'm just looking and making sure there's nothing around me.
There's nothing around you. Now, all I'm going to do is, I'll leave you with the light. Okay? Just for a couple of minutes, couple of 3 minutes. The light's there. Okay? I would like to do one thing for me. See on the side of this light, if we hold it this way, there is a dial. No, it's the other way, sorry, it's my fault. It's here somewhere. Just bear with me, guys. That there. So, anti-clockwise is off and down, clockwise is on and up. All I'd like you to do, at some point, put your finger on there, is for as long as you can, and then put the light back on when you want to. Is that all right?
What happens if it doesn't come on?
It will come on. It will come on. So I'm going to be back. I'm not going to be very, very long. You know, this is a big step for you, and I understand that. All right, sweetheart. But I appreciate the fact that you trust me, and you will feel an awful lot better. What I don't want you to do is say, and come down. Just if you feel like zooming off down there, don't get upset. Just fight it. Because you're not going to be here for a long time, and you're going to be back down there before you know it. I mean, look, you got to think as well, Cole, what she was like earlier, what she's like now. All right, darling. So I'm going to leave you with the light.
It's a long walk down there.
There's a what?
It's a long walk back down.
You're not got to go back down because you know what? You just stay here. I'm going to come back up for you. All right?
No, you're not just sitting at the door.
So I'm going to do. I'll be fair. I'm just stand at the bottom of the stairs. All right, that's what I'm going to do. Okay.
But that's times I've got to walk.
You're not going to walk
past
in. No, you're staying there. I'm coming back for you. You're not going to be leaving that chair. You're staying there. All right. Okay. I'll switch this off now. Okay, so Marie. I've just left Marie now alone in the room. It's quite a major step, Marie, for Marie. So there's things in the past that's happened that you won't be aware of it at this moment in time. But I'm proud of her. I am proud of her. It took, I mean, this is just little snippets of the video, but it's took me the best part of, what, maybe 4 hours to get this far. Marie's just been actually been there for about 5 minutes on her own. She sounds a bit happier anyway, so she's a bit apprehensive, but Marie, proud of you, mate.
Thank you.
Do you know what? You can smile.
I don't think I can.
No, I know you said that. You couldn't think you could go up in the room, so I'm sure you can make you smile. Well, there you go. A forced one will do for now. So, okay, you're still a little bit uncomfortable there, but was that as bad as you thought it was going to be?
No.
Yes, so.
Stop making excuses. You were still there.
Right, so I'm going to take another little break. I'm going to get back on the investigation very, very soon. I'm very, very pleased with the way things are going. Cole's been absolutely amazing, and this woman here, you know what, regardless whether something's real or whether it isn't, I mean, obviously we do know that there is activity in the place, but the fear level is still the same. And you know, the one thing that you can do for yourself, you've got to take control, because nobody else can do that for you. You know, you've got a choice. You stay as you are, or you make change happen. Nobody's going to do that for you. So, for now, I'm going to say, well, cheerio. I will be back in a few minutes. I'm going for a ciggy break. But Marie,
Yeah, I'll join you. I'm going to have a ciggy break as well.
proud of you, mate.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I've never done that.
I know you've never done that. Yeah. Are you glad you did? No.
I'm shitting it.
You're not shitting it. She's not shitting it. Are you glad that you did now?
Yeah, I kind of am.
You can't. She means she is. It's the best you're going to get out of her. She's like that. Okay, I'll be back shortly.
So it's me, Guns. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Pretty shattered right now. Luckily, I stayed in bed all day for a bit of it. So we've gone out tonight. We've gone to look to do most of this investigation. Most of that has kind of gone tits up, largely because of the fear exhibited by 2 of the people that are actually resident in this property, 2 people who work here. Particularly one of the main girls actually is utterly terrified. Don spent a period of time, a good couple of hours, making sure that both of these guys are a little bit more okay with what's happening, I guess, what's happening to them, what's taking place in the property, and also dispelling a lot of their fears, making sure that they're not building themselves up for a number of things that perhaps aren't even taking place at times. So it's easy, isn't it, when you get scared, you can kind of induce all sorts of feelings and emotions inside yourself. What was remarkable about this tonight was neither of these 2 young ladies will ever take the time to go upstairs and hoover in the daytime. Neither of them want to go upstairs. Both tonight have been upstairs with both me and Don with the lights off. They've also been up separately. The one young lady was up there for 10 minutes by herself which is kind of incredible, and came back down and actually really changed her whole opinion, I guess, really turned around completely. She's gone from being utterly terrified of being in there in the daytime to spending 10 minutes sitting in a bed in the middle of the night in the pitch black by herself. Now, she wasn't, of course, the most scared of the two witnesses. The other one, Don has continued to work with right up until literally about an hour or so ago. He's even managed to take her upstairs. She's gone through some huge barriers today, showing some real bravery as well, because she was utterly terrified. But she's gone, she's done it, and I'm sure they're both going to be much better for that. I've got to give credit to Don for doing that in the first place. We could have just sacked it off, ran across the fields, got some EVPs, done some interesting stuff, gone home, put it all on YouTube and been happy with what we've done. But it is, let's be honest, it's not about that. This isn't a ghost hunt. It's about making sure that these people are okay. And I've got to take my hat off to Don for that, because that is top work. Like I say, we could have just sacrificed that, but we didn't. What we're going to go and do now for the last hour is we're just going to go and have a look over at this sinkhole, see if we can pick anything up there, see if we can take any more EVPs, AVPs, any more information, see if there's anything more to some of the stories.
Just says, I'll be going up to the hole now. I put the recorder on, and one of the guys has just literally just gone, perfect. Listen to this.
Oof.
Perfect. Can you hear perfect?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is like the final bit tonight. Ian's probably just explained the whole investigation has gone tits up tonight, what we're going to do, because we're to concentrate more on their fears and helping to lay their fears to one. It's took a lot of work tonight, believe me, a lot of work. So now we are going to, if you're ready, Ian, we're going to head over to this sinkhole where, well, as I explained earlier, Becky says that there was 11 graves, or a pit with 11 people in, and it was, she basically said it was further back, and the only further back here in correlation to that is further back just beyond this fence is the only feasible place. We only found out the sinkhole afterwards. Something, I don't know if that is the case. Let's go see if we get some recordings, any kind of validation, confirmation of that, and then I think we're about ready for our beds, to be honest, because it's been a long day.
I'd heard a lot about Don Phillips, and I've spoken to him a few times on the phone, but I hadn't actually met him until yesterday. I'm a person who has been on many paranormal investigations, or investigations, you could say, into haunted sites, haunted buildings, with the Ghost Club. I was very impressed the way Don conducts his investigations, as I was a witness throughout the whole night. He looks at things objectively. He's certainly very thorough, and he doesn't rush things. He doesn't hurry his investigations, and we were getting things like electronic voice phenomena, which, to be perfectly honest, in the past I've heard people using digital recorders and getting what they say is a human voice. All you get, really, all I've heard in the past is a lot of interference, static, which people interpret as being human voices. But last night, Don he recorded several electronic voices with the e.v.p, or electronic voice phenomena as it's called. And the early part of the evening, or the early part of the investigation, which was really late evening, there were several voices, but they weren't very clear. And as the night went on, they became clearer. And I was very impressed with this. Don was asking the people, presumably the spirits, questions, and they were giving intelligent answers. There was obviously some form of intelligence behind the voice. Now that's something, as I just said, I haven't experienced before. And Don also is a very objective person. He looks at everything objectively. in some ways he's probably a bit of a skeptic, which is not a bad thing. It's something that you really need to look at everything objectively. Now, I spent the night in this house. It's a very, very isolated farmhouse in Devonshire. It is a building of extreme antiquity. The house dates back to the early 13th century, around about 1210, and it also retains many of its archaeological and historic features. Mind you, there are not many old houses, probably none which haven't undergone changes over the years. As I said, I've heard people who rather doubt Don's ability and say he's a highly imaginative person. But having witnessed everything that Don does, I can say with 100% certainty he's a very genuine person, and his people who criticise his works just don't know what they're talking about. It was a wonderful experience to meet Don, and certainly to visit this ancient house in Devon.
When you've lived your whole life in fear,
My work here was now done. Never judge those who claim paranormal occurrences unless you yourself have experienced the same. Some will say there's no such thing as ghosts and everything has an alternative explanation. They're mistaken. I am not attempting to prove the existence of ethereal beings. I have done so time and time again, much to the despair of those who would like you to believe otherwise. I will continue my work and continue to seek a mainstream scientist to take notice and join me in my research. My contact details can be found in the description below. The world of the paranormal is very real. If you enjoyed this video, you took a lot from this video, and you would like to see more of these videos, then please do subscribe. As for me, it's off to the next case. Thank you for watching.